Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the special runoff election edition of Carolina Week. I'm Elizabeth Edmonds.
And I'm Carly Swain. In about 15 minutes, the Board of Elections will announce UNC's next student body president. But first, let's take a look back at the other races involved in last week's student government elections. Keith Lee is the new president of the Graduate and Professional Students Federation. John J. Russ Russell won the position of leader of the Carolina Athletic Association, or CAA.
Christina Flouette was elected leader of the Residence Hall Association, and Maggie Safira and Sebastian Williams won the race to become the next senior class president and vice president.
And when everything was said and done last week, the most important student government seat was still not filled. None of the candidates for student body president had garnered more than 50% of the vote, which meant that there would be a runoff between the two top vote getters.
Candidate Thomas Edwards received 41% of the votes, but it still wasn't enough for the win. Reporter Chris Batters gives us a glimpse into Thomas Edwards' last week of campaigning.
After campaigning for the first round of SBP elections, Thomas Edwards and his campaign staff are at it again, but with a new twist.
We're going away in 5 days. I can't wait. I'm not lying.
Whether joking or not, the campaign season has been long for staffers and students alike. With another round of elections coming, Edwards had only a few days rest, but it was enough time to do what he hadn't been able to do.
Tuesday and Wednesday we sort of took off, or Tuesday night we celebrated some with our campaign staff. Actually Jasmine and I and Maggie and Sebastian all got together and hung out and just kind of reminisced about the campaign.
With the runoff elections on Tuesday, Edwards and his opponent Jasmine Jones have through Tuesday to campaign, only the rules have changed.
The Department of Housing and Residential Education won't let us dorm storm anymore, so we're really focusing all of our efforts on this kind of stuff. Being in the pit.
Getting the message to as many students as possible helps, especially after the 4 former SBP candidates endorsed his opponent this weekend. Edwards wanted some of their support, but doesn't think it gives Jones the edge.
Obviously, I wish it wouldn't have happened that way. It would be nice to have some of their support, but that's their decision, and I respect it. I don't think that it by any means counts us out of the race. And I've told my campaign staff this. I feel like we're very much on like a level playing field now, and we just.
Edwards did get some support from another former candidate, newly elected senior class president Maggie Stafira. Either way, with 41% of the overall vote in the main election, Edwards is sticking to his previous campaign strategy.
Our kind of philosophy is that we just need people out there, like people. I mean, that's sort of the best advertisement that you can get.
Edwards reinforced that point by using only $300 for advertising in the main election and even less in the runoff.
We're focusing on our ginormous bedsheet signs and some really cheap bubble wand things that we got at Walmart. I mean, that's the $100, I guess.
Win or lose, Edwards said he has 2 main things that he'll take away from this whole election process.
One of the things that I've really enjoyed the most about this is learning how things work and in the history of the university, and that's huge. It sticks with me forever, I think. And also really how to motivate people. If you have good ideas, people can really identify that and get behind you and help out. And
with voting closed, all he can do now is wait. In Chapel Hill, I'm Chris Batters, Carolina Week.
Before we speak with Thomas, let's take another quick look at some of his goals for office. Thomas Edwards is a junior biology major from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Edwards hopes to create an honest, open, and inclusive culture in student government, improve public safety for students, foster collaboration among junior student organizations, and increase direct interaction between student government and the student body. While accomplishing these goals, Edwards wants to be sure he remains flexible enough to tackle other issues.
And now we are very pleased to welcome Thomas into our studios. Thomas, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
thank you all very much.
Now, the votes are in and they're being counted, but in the meantime, we want to quiz you on a little bit of university history, all right? So, your first question, can you tell us which SBP was the last one to win a runoff election?
The last one to win a runoff election was E. Carson.
Ding, ding, ding. Elizabeth?
He gets 5 points. 5 points. Good for you.
Good job. Next question.
Let's see here. Who was the first student at UNC? That's easy. Come on now.
I'm an admissions ambassador, so I say this like once a week. Hinton James walked all the way to this great university, so he was the first student at Carolina.
Well, I think we might have had a little discrepancy in our question making then if
Ooh.
you knew that. That might not be fair. We might have to
No.
give Jasmine an easier one next time.
Exactly.
So, all right, last question. What dorm recently went green on Carolina's campus?
Morrison Dormitory, thanks to the RESPC green fee, actually.
Very good. He's 3
Look
for
at
3.
him.
I'm pretty impressed. Do you know your university?
I'd like to think so.
Does that make you eligible to be our next SVP?
I'd hope so. We put in a lot of research for the last, 10 months we're counting today, and we feel like that really went into our platform and makes it what it is. So we'll see, I guess, in the next 10 or 15 minutes.
Sounds good. Thomas, thank you so much for joining us on the desk tonight.
Thanks very much for having me.
All right, the time is now 10:06, and we should be hearing the results in just a little while.
That's right, but when we come back, we'll have a look at Thomas's competition for SVP, Jasmine Jones. We'll be right back.
The odds of a child being in a fatal automobile accident are 1 in 23,000. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 166. The odds say it's time to listen. To learn the signs of autism, visit autismspeaks.org.
Light switches. I'm big enough to brush my teeth by myself. I'm the tallest kid in my class. I haven't worn diapers in years. I'm much less likely to vomit at random now. My cups don't have lids anymore. Mine either. I'm getting pretty big. But to help me survive a car crash, I still need you to give me a boost.
Until they're 4'9", use a booster seat in the car and don't let them down.
Hear the one about the mom and the mechanic? They made a big splash running a car wash. See, the local PTA, an auto body shop, and their community coalition organized car washes, raising money to expand after-school programs. They knew keeping kids busy keeps them away from drugs. So now the town's got clean cars and clean kids. What can your group do? Your community coalition at helpyourcommunity.org, because you get more
When you get together.
Awaken your creativity. Do your thing at the Art School at the Art Center in Carborough.
Welcome back to our live runoff election coverage. The time is now a little after 10:05, and we're all eagerly waiting the Board of Elections' arrival with the results of today's race.
That's right, but before we find out those results, we're going to take another look at how the other candidate for SVP, Miss Jasmine Jones, has been spending her extra time to campaign. Reporter Sarah Moore has that story.
Last Tuesday, Jasmine Jones captured 21% of the total vote for student body president. Since then, she's regrouped and continued to spend long hours campaigning in the pit. Jones and her supporters have kept pushing toward her campaign goals.
We took our time to really think about everything that they wanted, and we want to give that back to them so they can really have a great Carolina experience.
If she wins, Jones wants to connect off-campus students not only to one another, but also to the university. One of the ways Jones plans to make this possible is by facilitating more student group collaboration. Jones herself is in a student dance organization, Blank Canvas.
Well, I love to dance or whatever. I dance in a dance group called Blank Canvas, and I choreograph and I participate still. I like to talk, so I do a lot of forums. I like doing stuff for student groups and things like that.
Jones says she's had a rewarding experience at Carolina so far, and she hopes to give the same to other students. Enhancing the student life experience to help students connect to Carolina is one of her main goals, and Jones has many ideas of how she could accomplish this.
Knowing that I have the power to, I guess, like plan events, to go on the mission that I feel is important and things like that, it was really empowering, and I want to bring that to the student body.
But when all the fun is done, Jones knows it's important to make sure students stay informed about resources that contribute to a successful academic career, but not forgetting that this year, it all has to be done on a tight budget.
Because I'm naturally I say a cheap person, but very economically conscious person. And just because I understand like what the economy is going through at this moment, and also the school is going through some budget cuts, so I know there's limited things that we can do, but there's some things that we have to do.
Jones knows the importance of creating a shared dialogue about safety for students. This will probably hit very close to home for many UNC students, considering the bomb threat that sent many students into a panic Sunday night. So why does Jones think she should be our next student body president?
Well, I think I should be our next student body president because I think I understand what students want and I understand what students need.
Jones says she appreciates all the support she's gotten, whether she wins or loses.
I love Carolina a whole lot. Win or lose, I really love Carolina.
Now that the campaigning is done, all she can do is wait. In Chapel Hill, I'm Sarah Moore, Carolina Week.
And now that we've seen Jasmine's feelings about the campaign, let's take another look at Jasmine Jones's goals for office. Jasmine is a junior journalism and international relations double major from Atlanta, Georgia. She hopes to encourage students to reach their academic goals, helping students connect to Carolina, facilitate more student group collaboration, create a shared dialogue about public safety among students, and to connect off-campus students to one another and to the university.
And we now have Jasmine Jones with us here on the desk. Welcome, Jasmine. Thank you for coming and sitting with us tonight.
Oh, not a problem. Thank you for having me.
Well, we did this first with Thomas, and he's 3 for 3, so
Okay.
no pressure. But here's your first pop quiz question.
Okay.
What year was the university founded?
Oh, I think it was, oh, this is a bad one. I think that, I want to take a guess, but
Okay.
Was it 1793?
Oh, so close.
Awesome.
That was really, really close. It was actually 1795, but you were 2 years off. That's not bad. I don't know, should we give it to her?
Yes, we are.
I think we will, because I think Thomas had a bit of an unfair advantage doing so many
He was an
leadership
ambassador,
tours.
so he knew all that
Okay,
stuff.
we're going to throw one away for each of you. Here's your next one. Can you recite the first line of our school's anthem?
Oh my God, you guys, I'm nervous. Hark the sound of Tar Heel voices.
She got it.
Oh my God. Okay. Woo! All right. I usually get excited at the clapping part. So okay. Thank you.
And might I add, that was quite on key as well.
Thank you
Good
very
job.
much.
Very good job. And for our student life question, how many floors does Davis Library have?
They have 8.
She's
You know
got
that
it.
answer.
Oh yes.
All right. Well, if we are going to go ahead and toss out one of Thomas's and one of Jasmine's, that means that they're 2 for 2.
Another runoff.
Another runoff, just with Carolina Week University Jeopardy.
Well, thank you guys.
Great. Well, the time is now almost 10:15, and in a few minutes we will know who will be our future student body president of the university.
But before we get to that, it wasn't just the SVP election you saw on your ballot today. We'll take a look at a vote for the child care referendum when we come back.
Do you know where your change goes when you give it to panhandlers? The Spare Change from Real Change initiative takes the money you give away and uses it to make a real change for the homeless population. So the next time you want to get rid of that extra weight in your pocket, find a can in any local establishment and help end homelessness in Chapel Hill.
There's something about you, baby. I can't get enough. There's something about you, baby. I got you looking at me, I'm gonna call you bluff. There's something about you.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Have you been a dad today?
Down to the morning light.
Mr. Murphy, Ed McMahon. We're starting up the neighborhood watch in this area, and
give
here's
me a
all.
minute. Stevie, get down here, please.
No, it's just it. It's just.
5, 6, 7, 8.
That's really cute.
Help play a part in the safety of your community. To find out how you can start or join a neighborhood watch, log on to usaonwatch.org.
The bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, and what do you think he saw? What do you think he saw? What do you think he saw? The bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, and what do you think he saw?
Today, we also voted on a referendum to subsidize childcare. More than 3,400 people signed a petition to put the fee back in front of the students. Student Congress originally took the $10 increase from $244 to $12.81 off the ballot. UNC currently provides childcare for about 20 children. The waiting list for childcare is much larger, at least 60 families. Woody Hartzog didn't even try to sign up for the waiting list, and he supported the increase.
I think that it would help people like me and people that, mainly grad students that are living on next to nothing and trying to support a family at the same time.
There have been some virtual attention around this referendum today. You probably received multiple emails in response to one student's mass email. At 12:05 today, Carolina junior Christopher Jones sent a multiple paragraph email outlining reasons he opposes the referendum to raise student fees that are directed to child care provided by the university. Jones wrote in his email that he acquired all the email addresses by compiling contacts from the university listservs.
And in addition to that email, another email, from our current SVP, J.J. Rayner, prompted Student Supreme Court to get involved with this referendum. The Speaker of the Student Congress, Tim Nichols, asked the court to enjoin the Board of Elections. The court has currently ruled that they cannot release the referendum results. Both sides have until the 19th of this month to file some briefs, and failure to serve the complaint by then means that the court will allow the release the results of the referendum. And we are currently delighted to be joined by our next senior class president, Miss Maggie Stafira. Hey, Maggie.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
No problem.
Can you tell us a little bit about who you are endorsing in this runoff election?
Sure. Well, I know both of these wonderful people, and let me just say that they're both great candidates. I, however, am really good friends with Thomas Edwards, and I know him personally and have for over a year now, and I'm supporting him for student body president. I think he's the right man for the job. And I've talked about this before, that the role of student body president is someone who works really closely with administrators. And to do that, they have to earn their respect, but they also have to stand up for what the students believe in. And Thomas is backed by just intelligence and people who know how to get things done. So he's our man.
Great. Well, I think we're ready to go for another break. It's about 10:20, and we are that much closer. We keep teasing you about it. We're that much closer to getting these results.
The Board of Elections team has arrived with results, and we'll join them very soon with that announcement. We'll be right back.
We believe in a world where all people have an equal opportunity for health and well-being.
Daddy, why is the sky blue?
Well, to match your pretty eyes.
Nope, not even close. See, all colors have wavelengths that are diffused by oxygen and nitrogen. Since blue is the shortest wavelength, it's diffused up to 10 times more.
Who taught you that?
Mommy?
By age 12, too many girls lose interest in math and science and their chance at future jobs. Keep her interest alive.
Know why mathematics is the basis of life as we know it?
You tell me.
It's her future. Do the math.
Hey, there are a lot of ways we can help our community. Spending our money in Orange County, whether it's filling up the car or shopping at local businesses, helps maintain our roads, improves our children's schools, and creates jobs. Spending your money locally helps us all in a big way. So remember, shop Orange first.
Jonesy kitty, Jonesy kitty, Jonesy cat. She is my kitty.
She is my squiddy. She is my Jonesy. She is my Jonesy cat. She is my cat.
Things can get pretty ugly when you're bored. In an after-school program, you can find something way better to do.
Thanks for joining us for live coverage of the runoff election, Carolina Week's 2009 election results show. We're joined now on our set by Michael Betts, who was the youngest running person for the student body president office this year. And Michael, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you and the other 3 candidates for SBP have all come together and endorsed Jasmine Jones. Why?
We all thought that, and nothing against Thomas by any means, but we all thought that Jasmine definitely embodied all that we had to say directly, and we also felt that her charisma and her personality were very similar to that of Eve's, and was able to definitely get everything that she wanted to done. So.
All right. Now, in addition to this, Michael, can you tell us a little bit about your campaign? We know that you were the youngest person running. What did you find that was maybe difficult or an advantage to that in this season?
What was difficult and what was an advantage? I'll look at the advantages first. I guess the direct advantages would have been to definitely be able to be here as a resource following my candidacy, or excuse me, my presidency. And that was something that I was looking forward to. It's something that I guess I still have that ability to do as a senior advisor, possibly for a staff later on. Some of the disadvantages, I guess the experience direct, a lot of times people would ask me questions that, it's like, well, how much experience do you have directly? And a lot of times I would say, it's not that I directly have experience, but I know the people that do. So those are the people that I would inspire and motivate. So.
Definitely. Now, for most of us students here at Carolina, we just see the campaigning in the pit. We see the signs and we see the result, but we don't see all of the work that you guys put into it. So how grueling has this semester been for you? Let's just chat about that for a second.
Well, my nose was to the grindstone a lot. There were a lot of days that I would ask my staff for days off. There were times that I would be ill and I was required to be in the pit. A lot of times they would want my voice to be heard, and if I didn't have a voice, it was kind of hard to share it. So that was something that I definitely had to look forward to. Also, my homework kind of took a little, I guess, a back seat. It's one of those things where, I guess, to be quite honest, I wasn't the greatest student during the season, but I'm correcting that now. So.
Well, we won't tell your professors, and if they're watching, he is a great student.
He is, and he's actually going to go catch up on his homework right now while we take a short break, and we'll be getting those results very shortly. We'll be right back.
The odds of a child being in a fatal automobile accident are 1 in 23,000. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 166. The odds say it's time to listen. To learn the signs of autism, visit autismspeaks.org.
Light switches. I'm big enough to brush my teeth by myself. I'm the tallest kid in my class. I haven't worn diapers in years. I'm much less likely to vomit at random now. My cups don't have lids anymore. Mine either. I'm getting pretty big. But to help me survive a car crash, I still need you to give me a boost.
Until they're 4'9", use a booster seat in the car and don't let them down.
Hear the one about the mom and the mechanic? They made a big splash running a car wash. See, the local PTA, an auto body shop, and their community coalition organized car washes, raising money to expand after-school programs. They knew keeping kids busy keeps them away from drugs. So now the town's got clean cars and clean kids. What can your group do? Your community coalition at helpyourcommunity.org, because you get more.
When you get together.
Awaken your creativity. Do your thing at the Art School at the Art Center in Carrboro.
Welcome back to the 2009 Student Body President elections. Again, I'm Elizabeth Edmonds alongside Carly Swain, and we are about to get those results, aren't we, Carly?
We are, and we are anxiously anticipating those results, that is for sure. We've been waiting and teasing you with it all night long. Our apologies. Write your letters to the Board of Election, not to us. We're doing our job.
We're doing our job. But we have with us right now are the two runoff election candidates, Thomas Edwards to my right and Jasmine Jones to her left.
That's right.
Now, guys, you did the trivia pretty well, but I got the biggest question, and this is about Carolina basketball, okay? Jordan or Hansborough?
Oh.
Duke it out right now.
Jordan.
So is this like the one thing you guys are going to agree on during this whole campaign process? You think so?
Yeah.
But
Well,
this is a good common ground. I
Dean
think.
Smith or Roy Williams?
Oh. I mean, my friend says God, Jesus, Roy. So, so you know, I like Roy, but I do respect Dean Smith.
Well, here's a legitimate question away from sports, even though we love it. So, despite whatever happens tonight, what are you going to do to help the other student body president fulfill their tasks and make the university as great as it can be this year?
Well, I definitely, if Thomas is awarded it tonight, definitely want to give him some of my ideas, just so that I can see them happen, because I believe they'll really improve student life especially. So that's one of the first things I would like to sit down and do. But.
Sure, and it's a very generous thing for Jasmine to do. Thomas, if Jasmine takes this office, how do you plan to assist her, maybe hand over some of those ideas as well?
Definitely. I mean, I think we've talked about this pretty frequently throughout the campaign. I feel like a lot of the candidates came up with great ideas. And we've actually talked with our campaign staff about doing a revision to our platform if we are elected to incorporate a lot of those ideas, because it's one of those things. I mean, people have hundreds of campaign workers writing platforms, and they're going to come up with unique ideas that really do serve the student body. So we'll definitely incorporate those if we win. If we don't win, then I will be sitting down and going through our platform and trying to find the things that I think would help out Jasmine if she is the winner.
That sounds very gracious of both of you. So in addition to this, we've been talking about how tiring these campaigns are, but I don't think anybody really understands how many hours a day you sleep and eat compared to when you campaign. Can you give us, maybe we'll start with Jasmine, a day in the life this past week for a runoff election where you had quite a bit of a discrepancy to overcome, with Thomas originally receiving 41 and you got the 21.
Yeah.
What has this week been like? Give us some numbers.
It has been a serious rush, but the other thing is that school also is playing a part in it. I had an exam. I'll tell you about my Monday schedule. Monday, I slept in SASB because I had to pull an all-nighter, because I had to pay A-frames on Sunday, plus pick the new union president, so that took hours. And so Sunday night, I slept in the SASB building, woke up at 7, had to get the campaign stuff at 8, and then we went to class till 11, and then was outside all day until 2, maybe 2:30, then went to class. Then after that, you have to go back outside from 5 to 7.
Getting exhausted.
Yeah. And so it's pretty intense, but it's definitely worth it. And then they also tell you this is what comes with the job of just making sure that if you're going to do this, you have to be dedicated. And so that's something that at least I wanted to work hard for it. So yeah, that's a day in the life.
That sounds like a busy day.
Now, we've been joking about this to Thomas for a while, about his lack of laundry care. Now, This past week, have you been able to throw in a load of whites, or what's been going on with you?
Luckily, I have been able to get some laundry done. I guess that was a moment of uber honesty, I guess. Maybe a little too much information, if you will. But I've gotten my laundry done. And surprisingly, I spent my Friday night last week doing it. And luckily, I have a little over a week worth of clothes to do. I think I almost broke the laundry or the washing machine with how much laundry I put in it then. So we'll see.
It's never too much information. We love that stuff.
I think that's probably what makes these candidates very personable, is knowing a little bit about laundry, a little bit about your schedule, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of different things that a student body president can do, but I think there's probably some misconceptions out there of what your powers actually are. Would you guys care to clarify maybe what some things that people think you do have charge of that you found in this campaign that you really don't?
I think the biggest thing is probably with funding for student groups. Constantly we hear things about, well, I can't believe that I'm going to pay a tuition increase if my money's going to fund X program that a student organization is doing. And quite honestly, the student body president has nothing to do with any sort of funding of student organizations. And while yes, we signed the budget bill into law, the student congress is really the body that's in charge of funding student organizations.
So student funding is one of the big things. And
Definitely.
right now we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, come back and speak with Thomas and Jasmine momentarily, and then see if that Board of Elections has our results.
They're sweating, but it's almost here.
We'll be right back.
Do you know where your change goes when you give it to panhandlers? The Spare Change from Real Change initiative takes the money you give away and uses it to make a real change for the homeless population. So the next time you want to get rid of that extra weight in your pocket, find a can in any local establishment and help end homelessness in Chapel Hill.
There's something about you, baby. I can't get enough. There's something about you, baby. I got you looking at me, I'm gonna call you bluff. There's something about you.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Have you been a dad today?
Down to the morning light.
Thank you so much for joining us for the 2009 runoff election with Carolina Week Student Body President election. We've heard that the Board of Elections has just come into our newsroom and they're ready to announce who our next Student Body President is. Let's go ahead and listen in.
Everybody. First off, before I get started, I'd like to encourage everybody to vote for Anoop on American Idol. The number is 1-866-IDOLS-06. That's 436-5706. I'd like to thank ITS for their help. Without them, we couldn't have counted the votes. I'd like to thank the campaigns for putting in so much hard work. I'd like to thank Carolina Week for putting all of this together. I'd like to thank John Curtis for helping us out with everything student government related, legal issues, everything like that. And I'd like to thank all the students for voting. So this is one of the closest elections we've ever had. As you know, last time we had a record turnout of 8,730 votes. That was 17 more than the previous record, 17% more. This time, we shattered that record again. We had 17% more than the previous record. Over half of the undergraduate student body voted. That's the first time anything like this has happened. So it gives the future SBP an incredible mandate to do what they need to get done. My Vice Chairman, Valentin Yatkin, will start us off with a discussion on the referendum.
Hi, everybody. We have the results for the referendum. Unfortunately, due to injunction by Supreme Court, which was granted in response to complaint by Tim Nichols, the Speaker of Student Congress, we're not allowed to disclose it at this time. pending an outcome of the Supreme Court case against, well, student body president and the Board of Elections alleging pre-electoral misconduct on the part of executive branch. So we have it, we can't talk about it. That's all I've got to say about that. Ryan?
Thanks, Val. Let's see. So for this election, the vote total was 10,240 votes. Like I said, that's 17% more than the last record-breaking election. So to start us off with Student Congress, there was a write-in for District 8. The winner is John J.D. Daw with 5 votes. For District 9 Student Congress, there are 3 spots, and they go to Sora Lee with 161 votes, Philip Reel with 128 votes, and Joe Fiorelli with 101 votes. For District 10 of Student Congress, Sarah Ayers with 129 votes, and Jennifer Burkhart with 117 votes. Okay, before we get to the SPP announcement, I'd like to thank the Board of Elections for helping me out with everything this year. Obviously, Val was a great help. He wrote most of the student code. So he deserves a little bit of credit. Neil, our publicity director, deserves some credit. Tatiana, our parliamentarian, Scott Rogers, and Pete Galuli, as well as John Key, our secretary. Let's see, what next? SVP. Okay. So we smashed last week's turnout by almost 2,000 votes. It's incredible that over half of the undergraduate student body voted on this election. Jasmine and Thomas, both of you ran amazing campaigns that brought out the best in you. Both of your campaigns embody the true spirit of Carolina. I'm very proud of that, and regardless of who wins, I'm proud of both of you. In an election where I can say that honestly every vote made a difference, the results reflected the intensity and the determination of this year's campaign. With 4,881 votes and 51.3% of the vote, in comparison to 4,632 votes and 48.7% of the vote, it is my distinct pleasure and honor to announce that UNC's next SPP will be Jasmine Jones.
And just a quick recap going on live in our newsroom. We've heard that Jasmine Jones is our next student body president.
That's right. She secured 51% of the vote with 4,881 votes to Thomas Edwards' 4,632 votes. So a very exciting moment for her. We can hear her all the way in here in the studio, but we'll take a quick break and then we'll have or maybe we will not. Maybe we'll have a chat with Jasmine. But let's talk about this for a second. So Jasmine went from 21% to 51% in a week. Is that crazy?
51.3. That is a big, big jump.
That is definitely crazy. So let's hear. And we also mentioned in the studio that they will not talk about the referendum that we mentioned about the child's fee added up to, what was it, $10 added to the ballot, an additional $10 for student fees.
Correct. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and put that under an injunction. We'll have a little wrap up more of tonight's results just after the break.
Hey, there are a lot of ways we can help our community. Spending our money in Orange County, whether it's filling up the car or shopping at local businesses helps maintain our roads, improves our children's schools, and creates jobs. Spending your money locally helps us all in a big way. So remember, shop Orange first.
Jonesy kitty, Jonesy kitty, Jonesy cat. She is my kitty.
She is my Squiddy. She is my Jonesy. She is my Jonesy cat. She is my cat.
Things can get pretty ugly when you're bored. In an after-school program, you can find something way better to do.
Well, the celebration has definitely not ended, but you know what? It has joined us here in the studio, and with us is our new SVP-elect, Miss Jasmine Jones. Is that cute? We get some Kleenex for her, please.
I'm so excited, but thank you.
All right, so first question. Now, I know emotions are running high right now, but we got to talk about this. Where are we going to have the celebration tonight?
I mean, we're gonna have to wing it because I actually just turned 21 on Friday. So I now have and I lost my license, but I found it today. So we're gonna figure out something to do.
And she doesn't have to take office, folks, until about April 7th. So if she just turned 21, sounds like we can have a pretty decent party tonight, Jasmine.
Yeah, we do. But yes, that would be really cool if we could.
So just explain what. I know it's hard to explain right now, and this is the cheesiest question people ask, but how do you feel right now?
It makes you just really love Carolina just a whole lot more, that they really believe in you. But what I like most about Carolina is that, what I like most about Carolina is that I had the opportunity to really reach out, and they really voted. Like it wasn't a halfway vote. It wasn't, a thing where I'll just vote for it. They really paid attention to everything we did, so I was really appreciative. I'm just happy, just appreciative and happy. Thank you has probably been the word I've said like 1,000 times, so.
Well, we hear that there are a lot of people that are filing into the newsroom right now to help you celebrate. They're very excited about your victory tonight.
Thank you so much.
So you had quite an outpouring. We heard that 17% more than the original election. We had over 10,000 votes, Jasmine. You secured nearly 5,000 of those votes.
That's
and
amazing.
we have some people coming in to congratulate
Here
you.
comes the party. Here comes the party.
We won, no. All right, so the main question here, guys, Jasmine does not know where to have the celebration party. Do we have any thoughts yet?
We're going Franklin.
Franklin.
When in doubt, say Franklin, right? When in doubt.
And we know that one of the most important things that the president of the Board of Elections told us is we already voted for Jasmine, so we have to keep voting for Anoop tonight on American Idol.
That's right. That's right.
Jasmine, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to take a quick commercial break and come back for a wrap-up. Or we're not.
Or maybe we're not. Maybe we're going to talk about Anoop some more. Let's talk about that. So, guys, who among y'all are going to be the party planner for tonight? Let's talk about that real quick. Can we get an invite?
This is my older sister, actually. She's a senior. Her name is Jan. But yeah.
All right, well, that does it for us tonight. We've had a long night, a great night, but we are very excited for Jasmine, and we'll catch you next year.
That does it for this edition of Carolina Week. Tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. for a more, I suppose, a bigger wrap-up of tonight's election. And once again, our new student body president, Miss Jasmine Jones. Thank you.